Hi, welcome to another episode of Kodsnack. My name is Fredrik, and in this episode, which I recorded at the Øredev conference of 2018, time flies, I talked to Roshan Khan about VR and the state of VR, something which you may already know excites me quite a bit. And Roshan talked about that on the conference. We'll see if we can dig up a link to his presentation. And when he's not talking about VR and traveling around the world, he's founder and CEO of Hinnts consultancy services. And before we begin, I'd just like to add that if you want to support this podcast with a little bit of money, enough for, say, a coffee or two, you can do so nowadays by clicking a link to ko-fi.com/kodsnack. We have a link, of course, in the show notes. And if you're listening through Overcast, you also have a little $sign in the app right now that you can click, and you can donate 1 cup of coffee or more. Each cup of coffee is currently $3 or the equivalent amount. And thanks so much to everyone who's already donated. This has far exceeded our hopes and expectations, and we're using it to cover our hosting costs and perhaps even a microphone or two going forward, or other stuff we can do to make the podcast even better for everyone listening. So thank you so much, and on with the interview. So welcome to the podcast and the podcasting stage.
Thank you very much.
We've all had lunch. Everyone's happy.
Exactly. Yeah, we have place for sleeping too, huh? Sleeping bags.
Oh yes, yeah. People make good use of them. So you already finished your presentation on the first day. Very good planning, having a presentation in the beginning.
Thanks for the organizers.
Oh yeah. So how did it go?
It started with a lot of people. Mm-hmm. And then basically I was telling the technician also in the room, I have to get used to back, because before, last 7 years back, I used to work for Nokia. So I used to travel to Sweden and Finland, Helsinki a lot.
Oh yeah, of course.
So we used to have, special training to get used to how do we do the culture interaction with India.
Oh, interesting.
Because in India, if we, for everything we expect yes, okay, yes, fine, and then we ask questions and all the stuff. But then, as you know, and I also observed today again, for me to get that energy from the crowd, I need some response also from the crowd normally. Yeah. But today it was a little like, okay, I have to tell them some joke and try to crack some joke. Are you all listening? Yeah, okay, fine, everything is fine. So it was good, yeah. At the end, a lot of questions, yes. The main objective was to tell what's happening in the VR world, in the AR world, especially in the travel domain. And hopefully I have enticed some people to look into. Yeah. So yes, it was good. Yeah. So thanks to Øredev.
So even in a crowd or a room of the size here, there would be a lot more interaction between the speaker and the audience if it had been in India?
Yes. So last week I was in a Grace Hopper conference, which is very big in US, but also it was a Grace Hopper celebration in India. Yeah. So that they had 5,000 participants. Ooh. But it was Grace Hopper celebration for women. It's women in technology. Yeah. So we had 5,000 women. Only 1% of them were men. Even though, I talked about blockchain there, and there were 1,000 women there in one room. So even then, yes, the speaker really gets a lot of questions in between yes, hello, and a lot of responses.
So people are interrupting and asking,
Not interrupting.
No, but yes. I mean,
if they say, for my session, I said, okay, you can stop me in between, ask questions, but there are some people who say, okay, you can do it at the end. And it's possible, yeah. Yeah,
well, it must be fun. More interaction.
It's different, yes.
It gives a whole different flow and energy, I imagine.
Different, yes.
Yeah. So, I'm really excited about VR. My own VR experience is mainly the PSVR.
Okay.
And trying a couple of different Daydream headsets and stuff like that.
Okay. So you already played around with all the devices.
The ones I could get my hands on. And I have to say, I really like gaming in VR when it's well made. It's a more immersive experience.
Yes, immersion, as you talked about. So AR, VR, or normally people talk about now is XR or extended reality, or the mixed reality. When Microsoft came out with Hololens, they said it's mixed reality.
Yeah. Does Microsoft always make their own acronyms?
They have to make a difference, you know.
Yeah, I guess so.
Apple. So
true.
Everybody wants to make a difference. Come out with something with new, which looks unique and innovative, though it is same thing in a different form. So that's what innovation about, right?
Yeah, that's true.
So solution of the same existing problem in a new, different way. So,
So which one of the different XRs are you most interested in? Or which one seems most exciting? Or
the more VR is what is more exciting, but I believe AR is going to have more acceptance because AR does not take you away from the real world, and normally is the inertia of change. Though the change is the only constant, but it's normally people are reluctant to if it is completely changed and therefore don't feel comfortable if you are out of your normal surrounding. VR takes you out from there.
It's a big step.
Different world. So for some time it's okay. But after you go through some time, you don't feel comfortable and you want to come back to real world. And augmented reality provides that experience, augmentation on top of the existing devices what you have, whether it is tablet or a head-up display or a phone. Every data is presented on top of the real world. In the camera mode, you see the navigation is possible, or even the games like Pokemon Go. Even though VR has been there for quite long, but the way Pokemon Go has experienced the success, in the VR, nobody has experienced that kind of success. It's basically the accessibility. Even children were able to access even the phones and do it.
You don't need to buy hardware.
It's very different. So
you have to buy.
The experience is different.
You have to buy the hardware and you have to put something in front of your eyes. And if you want good sound, you want big headphones as well. And then you start to really cut yourself off, which it's a whole different problem, I guess.
But then that's what I talked about. That's the new reality. So the virtual is the new reality. That was the heading or the title of my topic too. So what I showcase today is how the travel space is changing. So, for example, everybody in the world travels, right? Whether it is for a disruption, whether it is for a good cause, whether it is for an anniversary, birthday, or travel, you just want to go somewhere. And we have had limited ways of knowing. We go through multiple websites and reviews. We see videos or pictures if you go to some place. And the travel, of course, as you saw, travel domain has grown, travel industry has grown multifold. Everybody wants to travel, whether it is inside the country or outside the country. And the VR is the new way for people to know about the destination. For example, if I want to actually visit a different country, I will first go, what do I do? If VR was not there, it just go to review as talked about. But in the VR world, we actually can see, if it is Paris, I can actually see how the Eiffel Tower looks from standing below, what else is nearby, how the surrounding looks like, similarly how the London Bridge is there, or for example, even for the people who are, like I talked about the conference, I understand this is the first time for Øredev to organize the conference here.
In this venue.
But the people who actually selected this venue, they had to physically come here and check everything so many times. But if it was VR and these people, I don't know if they have already provided that kind of interface and content online available. So not everybody in the organizer has to come and check. Only people who want to just come here, they could have seen how big is the room, how does it look, how is the lighting, how far is everything from here, how to go and everything in the VR world. They walk through that like exactly in playing games. So people actually experience the whole thing even though they are not being there. That's what take through. So in the travel, what I showcase today is how we can go away from the standard click, browse, and select the options. But actually in the VR world, browse through the globe instead of going a drop-down list of selecting Malmo or Paris. We actually wave or gesture the globe to turn around, select a particular country. It's a different experience.
Yeah, very much so.
Yeah, as if you're doing physically. So taking out the card and seeing the card and putting it. Yeah, it's a different experience.
Yeah. I mean, just silly stuff like Google Maps in 3D in VR.
Google Earth VR.
Yeah.
You've seen Google Earth VR.
Yeah.
Actually, it's a different experience altogether.
Yeah, even when it's not in the right proportions, but I'm standing like some giant over the houses and like, oh, look down there.
Exactly. That's my house.
Yeah. So is that the part that makes you feel like VR is more exciting than the others, or is there more?
That's the experience part. But the most difficult part is that's where how to provide that experience.
Yeah.
Is the authentic UX.
Yeah.
And that's where the challenge is.
Yeah.
For the people who are developing the apps, the challenge is to develop that kind of experience.
Yeah.
And that comes at a very high cost.
Yeah.
You need to have all the gears. You need to have the latest apps and the content of high definition and everything to provide that 360 degree, like I talked about, 6 degrees of freedom.
Yeah.
Right? In the case of VR. So how much degrees of freedom you want to provide the user of the application.
Yeah, and how to navigate.
How to navigate, not only just turn your head up and down, but how to move around completely and see up and down, and then how the experience is there.
Yeah, and also just getting people to have the hardware, I guess.
That's the most important part. The more degrees of freedom and to add to your app, the higher kind of hardware you require.
Yeah.
And then if you use just the cardboard, which is maybe €1 or €2 or
something like that, I think.
And you can get for that too.
Yeah.
But then you need your phone to keep it there.
Yeah.
Even the phones are very, high-end phones.
Yeah.
Everybody has high-end phones. Even the cheapest ones are very high-end, unlike the other days.
Yeah.
So they have the capability. So people are happy with that. But then the degrees of freedom is less.
Yeah,
it's like watching a 3D IMAX movie. Have a good experience, but then the interaction is less.
Yeah.
In the cardboard, you just basically use your gaze or the receptacle, or what do you call the point?
Mm.
And you gaze at it for more than 5 seconds, then you select. But then, of course, with the high-end devices, you have the trackers and you have the controllers in your hand. You can move around, gesture, and everything.
I was surprised when I realized just how large a difference that made, because I had tried the cardboard with the extra controller.
Yeah.
I mean, that allows you to do some stuff, but it's still such a big difference when it doesn't really track your head. If I lean forward, nothing happens. My world is broken. But even just the PSVR actually tracks that, and then it feels so much more natural already.
Yeah.
Makes it, But is there anything like exciting happening when it comes to like, I guess getting people to get better hardware, because that seems like a big obstacle.
That's only now. Everything takes some time. Like earlier, there were only Oculus Rift when we started with. Then we came with the HTC Vive, then the cardboard. Now everybody else, there are so many startups also coming up with the hardware, which are much affordable prices with use of your own high-end devices too.
Yeah.
So now it is becoming more affordable, and soon everybody can experience the same thing.
Yeah.
So it will be more challenge for the people who want to provide the content and develop the apps.
Yeah.
So then it will become, people have to follow, and that's where it will create more for the content developers, the opportunity for creating, and the creative people are going to come up more. And that's where I was talking about somebody that how much ever AI and we put there, it's the creative mind which is going to work in the future. So AI can do the whole mundane stuff which has been happening over and over again to automate.
Yeah.
But all the creativity will come in, and this lies directly in the line of creativity.
Yeah,
the
definitely.
VR part.
Yeah.
So that's, of course, as you asked, what else is happening is, especially in the medical, in the talk I also talk about, is in the education and training and medical and automotive are major areas where things are happening. For example, the students can practice the dissection. Like instead of actually cutting a human corpse or whatever, they can actually practice in VR.
Yeah.
And plus, in the using of MR also, there is, for example, the teacher is there. He's wearing the glasses. Virtually, there is no body. but all of them are wearing the Hololens, for example. They can all view at a corpse, and he can explain with pointers as if he's actually pointing and cutting and showing how much should be the incision, how deep it should be, how flat or how long it should be for any kind of operation. So it's much better way of learning, because normally if we hear in the class, it's, as I talked about, is 20% of only that we remember. But if we see and learn, we remember 90% of it. So that's the best way of learning, and that's why it is becoming very popular in education and training, especially in the medical areas, and making things easier and people can do it remotely also.
Yeah, that's true as well. I don't need to be in the same place.
Yeah, exactly. That's
makes a big difference.
Things which are going to change the world. So it's soon coming, and of course. And then in automotive, right, like trying out the car, we cannot get a test drive of all the BMWs and Mercedes or whatever to go to a store and see. But we can actually see and decide on one car which you want to finally take a test drive to have the actual feel remotely at your home, on your sofa or in your room with the VR showroom. So many automotive companies like Volkswagen, they have a digital portal, digital hub, what they call, hub, where they provide like a showroom kind of experience. You select which car, you actually can see and open. How does the door open? How does it good look? You can actually sit inside and check. Similarly in aircrafts, so people can actually see how the cockpit looks and how big is the plane. Walk around inside the plane, for example, in check-in scenario. So we want to upgrade. So normally you go to the kiosk and the lady says, "Sir, do you want to upgrade?" But there is a big difference if you go by A380. There's a difference in the economy class to the business class to first class. But if you don't go by A380 or some other low-end plane, the seats are only a little bit much longer. It's not much different in business class at all. But still you end up paying more, and then once you go on board you realize, why did I pay more?
It wasn't worth
just the front seat. Instead of the back seat.
I get off the plane first. Yes. So you can show it instead.
So in the VR part, you can actually view how big it is it actually worth and all, and that you can do offline. You don't need to even go there. You get the option on the app to upgrade. You can actually visualize and see, walk through how the first class looks, how the suite looks in A380 or other things.
So I guess from the sort of developer side, is that where to start thinking about it? Like what in the thing I'm building is worth showing instead of writing or trying to take a picture of?
So from the developer perspective, as I said, now the development has to divide into two parts. In fact, it should have been all the way earlier also. For example, people think a UI developer also is a UX designer.
It's kind of different.
Let's hire one person. He can do everything. He knows HTML, CSS. Okay.
Let's done.
The same thing here, right? The person who has to do the creation of the content and the view and how the walkthrough has to be there. For example, if you want to develop, I will take an example of, again, the travel industry, like hotel. So if I want to select a hotel, I will, of course, have the name, but I want to see which type of rooms are available, not only based on the cost. I will actually go through the different types of room. I'll see the room, how it looks from inside, what color it is, or how big the bed is, how far is it from the, is the dining room or the executive room is nearby, far, big, and how big is the sofa, how does it look, if I have the good feeling or not. I can actually see everything. And for creating that experience, from the development perspective, it will be the standard APIs and integration. But the content has to come up from the content developer. And that content integration with the app will be the challenge. Because those content will be high-end content. Again, the experience will be mattering if you are putting a high-resolution content, whether it is a video or is a GIF file or a JPEG or high resolution or low resolution. If you are watching, the question of responsiveness will come. If the person is watching the same app in cardboard of Google or a Samsung VR or a $1 cardboard.
Yeah, can be a difference.
Whether it is the device of iPhone, whether it is Samsung, or is it any other OnePlus 6 or something else.
Yeah.
So that kind of will continue like a mobile application development, but then the content size and shape and everything matter.
Yeah.
That's the same thing for developer who is already developing mobile apps. Will continue the same challenge, but he needs to definitely not just rely on the HTML CSS part. He has to really work with the actual media and the content developer also.
Yeah, and I guess like scaling the content, and I guess probably thinking about handling the switch between VR content and other content in some way. Or should I be thinking that everyone will be wearing a headset all the time and it's just putting in a different view?
It's on the phone, right? So, for example, now many apps are already of big size, like 60, 70, 80 MB.
Yeah.
So if you want to put a VR content, people, what they are doing, for example, some airlines which I know, is they already have an app for normal mobile, as a normal mobile app. But then, for example, for check-in, they have a new app which will be loaded once you want to follow the check-in flow.
Oh, okay.
So existing app continues, but then they cannot make the existing app heavier because the content is very high, and they add more than 100 MB. It will not be allowed to upload in apps, for example, in App Store.
No.
So you cannot upload app with more than that.
Yeah,
people will not download.
Yeah.
So that's the challenge now. They have to have two apps. One for the VR only enabled content and one for the existing people. Once the transition is done, and I guess App Store or any other marketplace will allow high content or resolution. So that will be new things if somebody can actually content and obfuscate and make it much smaller. So that when it expands, when it comes inside, maybe that's the new way of people can look into of how to have a zipped already, which is there, but zip it more with the content, and then again unzip it when it's required.
Yeah, but it's definitely an interesting problem. I mean, suddenly my lightweight little information
app, 2-3 apps,
yeah, exactly. And one of them is like 20 times larger than the others.
Exactly.
And that's probably, I guess it would be kind of a hard sell in some circumstances. If I tell my boss that we should do this part as well, it's people will spend a few minutes there, and it's like 600 megabytes, but it will be worth it. Promise.
Yeah,
it's not easy. Do you think anything interesting will happen in the immediate future when it comes to like controls and stuff like that? Will someone figure something interesting out there?
So, if you can see, right, earlier I used PS2 and PS3, where I had to use a controller.
Yeah.
But with the came of Xbox, I don't need the controller, and you have gestures.
Oh yeah, you have Kinect stuff.
Kinect one, yes. So now even PS4 has, right? I guess.
Yeah, it has a little bit of that. It doesn't do much with it. Yeah.
Yes. So, but that's the new thing. So, with the existing stuff, if the app developers and the device developers or hardware developers can manage and understand what the human body already has, instead of having an external something to hold and do with, that will be more revolutionary than having one more device in hand. Right? For example, I still need to have 3-4 remotes for different. If I buy a TV from Sony and to have a Sony remote,
yes.
Well,
it's not a new problem.
Somebody really needs to solve that problem.
Yeah. But maybe some kind of standard will emerge there eventually too. I guess it already has almost. I mean, getting around in VR, it feels like there are few standard solutions like pointing and beams and stuff. But I still think Doom on the PSVR is better than the others because you can actually play with the controller and move. Oh, precision! It's fantastic. Yeah. So what about the augmented and mixed stuff? Is there anything I should be excited about there?
I have been waiting for Microsoft to come with next version of HoloLens. And
is it close?
Still waiting.
Oh, damn.
I am not part of the core or the extended committee of HoloLens where they can tell me when is it coming. So I'm not sure. But then that's more exciting because it allows you to even interact with the objects. while you're wearing. So I've seen, some applications in the Hololens also where not only it's basically that's why it's called mixed reality.
Yeah.
So you don't only watch the video, but you can actually interact in the video. So, for example, if I am going to Paris again, and then I can actually go and walk through the area, like the way in any of the Disney World games, like in Xbox, so, and interact.
Yeah.
So we develop applications using, Windows framework on, of course, .NET and everything else because it's a completely Windows 10 device, and it was not difficult. But then, again, the content was the problem. Where do I get that kind of content which is allowing me to interact? So this person is standing. Where do I go to buy tickets? And do you know what time the lighting will start in, the Eiffel Tower? So that's kind of questions. It's like anybody moving around, and we can talk and ask questions. So there are people to help. And if you click on a photograph, I know about this photograph or somebody's painting or whatever. So those kind of interactions are possible. So it makes you more feel like in the real world, but actually you're not.
Yeah.
So that's what you were talking about earlier, right?
Yeah.
People have a lot of friends on Facebook.
Yes.
So you feel you have so many friends, but actually none of them calls you on your birthday.
No, everyone likes your birthday.
Everybody likes your birthday. So it's that feeling.
Yeah. It's an interesting...
You're virtually like here, and then,
and I think you said that as well, that it kind of means that AR and mixed reality might have an easier time because it's not shutting people off the same way.
Yeah. Compared to VR, so AR is, that's what I said, maybe people are taking kind of a leapfrog there to develop more intuitive with the same existing devices, because everybody has the device, either a smartphone or a tablet or whatever, and they can use the same thing to get to know more. There can be interactive videos there on top of the exact place. So, for example, I can now point at this direction and find out which way is the nearest coffee day or McD, and it can tell you exactly. For example, in the airports, already many airports have AR apps, which are not so bulky, but still you can go because it's all the metadata you provide on top of the data. So you point, once you go to the airport, you point towards any direction. It'll exactly show you at what distance, what store is there, where is your gate. Like in Amadeus, we also add the extended data of saying how much time will it take exactly from your current location to reach your gate. And on the way, is there a lounge or is there a coffee day? And is there an offer? So the integration is with all the shops and the real estate on the airport. So airports can know how much time each traveler is spending in the airport, how much time he has, and how can we exploit that time.
Back to the social networks again. How can we...
But then it helps for people, for example, if you travel with kids, we don't know where is the kid-friendly area is.
No.
So
it's stuff I really want to know.
Push the information to the family that you are here, maybe you go to the terminal different direction, you still have 2 hours to board. So you can go there, have for 1 hour, or like in Singapore, I think there is a golfing coming up inside the airport. So they can always say, okay, why don't you golf for half an hour?
You have plenty of time. And tell you when you need to leave and what direction you're leaving.
So people are using the AR ways. They're using the existing devices, have the apps, provide you more information, how much time, where, what, everything else.
So as a happy consumer or enthusiastic consumer, if I want to get a good VR experience, what should I get today? Is there a good platform?
You mean say consumer and end user, or
we'll start with that. And then
so maybe you should just experience. Don't go for the high-end devices now, because again, new versions will keep on coming, and then you will say, oh, this doesn't support this one and that one. You can get a good enough, not $1 cardboard, but
a better one. Yeah, exactly.
Maybe a 10 or
splurge.
cardboard, which is good enough, so that you don't have to. Because some cardboards you have to hold your hand pains and have some time. So there are some hooks and good little microphone support if you can play some games there.
Yeah,
so
it's
those
worth
devices are good enough, and there are many apps available for whether you want to learn something new or whether you want to play, or even we can communicate.
Yeah.
So you should start experience today, because tomorrow, sooner or later, you will have to get into that.
Yeah.
Because everybody will provide those kind of services, and you will need to use it for doing things.
Yeah.
So you cannot avoid it in the future.
No.
You have to do it. So
and
better get used to it now.
Yeah, exactly. Prepare. And from a developer standpoint, then I guess it's the same. Like start experiencing.
Yes, from
stuff.
a development standpoint, I believe Unity 3D, what they talk about, and Euphoria kind of available, and of course Google AR SDK. Apple also ARkit. So they are, again, if you see, they're also going towards AR, right? They don't have a VR kit, as I understand. So it's ARkit is available, AR SDK is available. So those things are there for people to, try out, and they have a lot of functionalities, and even you can sign up for special
offers.
Yeah. So in Google itself and Apple, create new apps, and they encourage always to do that. So you try out and start working on it. So and that's going to be the new demand. Like, for example, as I understand, people are asking for blockchain. So everybody thinks everybody else is doing blockchain. Everybody thinks everybody else knows blockchain.
I see. Because there is stuff left to do.
But in reality, very less people. Because you can create a sample app in AR, VR, but ultimately you are stuck because you want to provide a good experience, and that's where you look for content. And content is not easy to get.
No.
So and that's where then you look for people who are creating content, and now because of all this privacy and everything, and suing and lawsuits and cases, copyrights, you need to be careful of what content you pick up from where and what makes you famous. So you should be very careful, because then you have to buy and all the stuff.
Do you have any favorite VR experience?
I like in the air than the Pokemon game and Pokemon Go. I have used, but the dinosaurs and all, because I have kids and those try. So learning using that was very good. I bought some T-shirts, and where if you point at a T-shirt and it's got some markings on the T-shirt, if you point your phone through the app, it actually shows the whole anatomy of your front part. So you can click on the heart, and it talks about it. So my experience mostly is on that part. So I like more AR, where you are still in your world and you learn a lot in a much better way. I wish I had this kind of technology when I was a kid.
And me too.
My teacher was not drawing two bean-shaped kidneys here and two beans here, one smaller one up and down, and the spleen is one line here. If this technology was there, I could have understood, this is how it is. I could have understood much better way than on a blackboard with white chalk and writing there. So that's the best experience of teaching. That's what I said to try it. I mean, for us, I'm already 40 years, so learned a lot of things, but still not clear about, because we need to mug up for exams and score good. But what is inside your brain, or what you have learned about human anatomy, or for that matter, history. So I went to Greece like a few years back, and I heard so many monuments and everything, but when I go, it's all ruins.
It's broken.
It's all...
you can just show them whole again.
Exactly.
It's awesome.
So you actually point your camera at the same monument, and you see how it used to look. that time.
Yeah.
And you can actually go around and see from all angles.
Yeah.
This is how it used to look. Yeah, you can feel like you are there.
Yeah.
At least you understand better than, of course, a travel guide is doing a good job of saying, this is how, see the photo, this is how the photo is looking.
Yeah.
But you're actually visualizing.
Yeah, it's a different...
So again, AR is doing much better there.
Yeah.
So you feel it, you go to the place and you do it, yeah.
Yeah, and people have the device.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Everybody has a device.
Yeah. Yeah, this was super interesting. Thank you so much for taking the time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Let me put it this way, Mr. Raymer. The 9000 series is the most reliable computer ever made. No 9000 computer has ever made a mistake or distorted information. We are all, by any practical definition of the words, foolproof and incapable of error.